My sister begged me to let her and her kids stay with me for a few months. I agreed, but soon my house was trashed, my food was gone, and she smirked, "Your family, you'll clean it." When I finally asked her to leave, she laughed, "You'll have to evict me." So I did, and the day the sheriff came, she screamed, "You wouldn't dare." Oh, but I did. I never imagined that opening my home to family would lead to such turmoil. I'm a 35-year-old woman living in a modest 3-bedroom house in Austin, Texas. Life was peaceful until my younger sister, Rachel, 32, called me in tears. Rachel had always been the free spirit of our family. She married young, had 2 kids, Liam, 8, and Sophie, 5, and recently went through a messy divorce. Her ex-husband left her with nothing, and she was struggling to make ends meet. "I just need a place to stay for a few months," she pleaded over the phone. "I promise we'll be out by the summer." Rachel arrived the next day with the kids and a mountain of belongings. I helped them settle into the guest rooms, hoping this arrangement would be temporary and smooth. The first week was manageable. Rachel seemed grateful, and the kids were adjusting. But soon, cracks began to show. I noticed groceries disappearing faster than usual. I'd buy a week's worth of food, only to find the fridge empty in days. Rachel wasn't pitching in for groceries or utilities, despite her initial agreement. When I brought it up, she'd brush it off with, "Money's tight right now. I'll contribute once I get back on my feet." Household chores became another point of contention. Dishes piled up, laundry overflowed, and toys were scattered everywhere. When I asked Rachel to help tidy up, she smirked and said, "Your family, you'll clean it." I was stunned but held my tongue, hoping things would improve. Weeks turned into months, and the situation worsened. My once tidy home felt like a battleground. The kids, though innocent, were unruly, and Rachel made no effort to discipline them. I was exhausted, both mentally and physically. One evening, after a long day at work, I came home to find the living room in shambles, spilled drinks on the carpet, crayon marks on the walls, and remnants of food on the couch. I couldn't hold back any longer. "Rachel, we need to talk," I said, trying to keep my composure. She looked up from her phone, uninterested. "What's up? This isn't working out. I need you to start looking for another place to stay." She laughed, a cold, dismissive chuckle. "You'll have to evict me." I was taken aback. "Are you serious?" "Dead serious," she replied, her tone challenging. Feeling trapped in my own home, I sought legal advice. Texas law required that I serve Rachel a formal eviction notice, giving her 30 days to vacate. It felt harsh, but I saw no other option. I handed Rachel the notice, expecting another dismissive reaction. Instead, she glared at me. "You wouldn't dare." "I have to," I said, my voice trembling. "I can't live like this anymore." The following weeks were tense. Rachel oscillated between silent treatment and passive-aggressive comments. The kids sensed the tension, making the atmosphere even more unbearable. The day of eviction arrived. A sheriff accompanied me to ensure everything went smoothly. Rachel was furious, yelling and causing a scene as she packed her belongings. The kids were crying, and neighbors peeked out from their windows. It was a heartbreaking spectacle. As she left, Rachel spat, "I hope you're happy. You've destroyed this family." I watched them drive away, a mix of relief and sorrow washing over me. The house was eerily quiet after they left. I spent days cleaning and restoring it to its former state. The emotional scars, however, took longer to heal. Family gatherings became strained. Some relatives sided with Rachel, viewing me as the villain who turned her sister and nieces/nephews out onto the street. Others understood my predicament, acknowledging the impossible situation I was placed in. Rachel and I didn't speak for months. Eventually, she reached out, not to apologize, but to inform me she had found a job and was renting an apartment. Our relationship remains distant, a stark reminder of the ordeal we endured. About 2 weeks after the sheriff showed up and Rachel finally left, things started to settle. Or so I thought. I had just started sleeping through the night again, cleaning up the last of the mess she and the kids left behind. The crayon on the walls didn't come off easy, and I had to toss 2 rugs because the stains were too deep. One afternoon, I got home from work and found a note stuck to my front door. "You think this is over? Watch your back." There was no name, but I knew that handwriting. I'd seen it 100 times on birthday cards, to-do lists, and post-it notes she'd leave around the kitchen when we were still talking. "Rachel." I stood on the porch, just staring at the note. Was she threatening me? Was it just her lashing out? I wasn't sure, but it made my skin crawl. The next day, a strange charge showed up on my credit card. Then another. I only used that card for groceries and bills. Turns out someone was trying to use it to shop online, Target, Amazon, DoorDash. I called the bank and froze everything. Guess whose name popped up when I called Amazon customer service and asked where the package was supposed to be delivered? Yep, Rachel. She used an old phone of mine that I had lent her during her stay. I thought she gave it back, but she must have logged into my accounts, saved the passwords, and kept using them. I reported it. Then, 2 days later, CPS showed up at my door. Child Protective Services. Someone had called in a report claiming I was a danger to children, that I'd physically hurt my niece and nephew. The social worker stood on my porch with a clipboard, asking questions about the domestic disturbance that happened during the eviction. I nearly laughed. But all I could say was, please come inside. Let me explain everything. I told them the full story. I showed them the eviction notice, text messages from Rachel, even the sheriff's report. The social worker nodded slowly and said, we get these types of retaliation calls more than you'd think. Still, we're required to look into everyone. It was humiliating. I had never even raised my voice at those kids. The visit lasted an hour. When she left, I sat on my couch shaking. I didn't know how far Rachel was willing to go, but now it was clear she wasn't done with me. Later that night, I called my cousin Max. He's a cop in Pflugerville. He didn't work my area, but I needed advice. I told him everything. The fraud, the threatening note, the CPS call. Max didn't sugarcoat it. She's playing dirty. You need to document everything. Every message, every call, every visit. Print it out. Timestamp it. If she shows up again or pulls anything else, call the police immediately. I started a folder. I saved every receipt, screenshot, and voicemail. 2 days later, my car was keyed. From headlight to taillight. Deep, jagged lines. I found a paper tucked under my windshield wiper. Paybacks AB*TCH. This time, I called the police. They took photos. I gave them the other note and the CPS report. They opened a case for harassment and vandalism. I hadn't heard from Rachel in a week. Then a mutual friend called me. Jessica. She'd been close to both of us growing up, but she distanced herself when Rachel's life started spiraling. Jessica was crying. She told me she was gonna come back and take what was hers, she said. I thought she was just being dramatic. But then she started talking about the house, your house. Saying it should have been hers too, because Mom helped you with the down payment. That wasn't true. Yes, our mom gave me a small loan when I bought the house, but Rachel didn't even live in the state at the time. She'd never paid a dime toward the mortgage. But in her twisted head, I guess she believed it gave her a claim. Now I was scared. I didn't feel safe in my own home. I changed the locks. I put up cameras, front door, backyard, side gate, even one pointing at the driveway. That night, around 2:37 a.m., my phone pinged. The motion detector caught someone at the side gate. I opened the feed. Grainy, black and white footage. It was her. Rachel. She was trying to open the gate, quietly, like she was sneaking in. She didn't know about the camera. I watched her give up and walk away. She didn't knock. She didn't yell. She just disappeared into the night. I downloaded the footage and added it to the folder. It's been 3 days since then. I haven't seen her. Haven't heard from her. But something tells me she's not done yet. I don't know what she wants. But I know this isn't over. And I'm ready. The police filed the vandalism report, but told me that without catching her in the act or her admitting to it, it would be hard to charge her. But that camera footage? It changed everything. I sent it to Max. He called me an hour later. This isn't just a petty fight anymore, he said. She tried to come onto your property at 2:30 in the morning. She's escalating. Max told me to file for a restraining order. So I did. I took the folder I'd been keeping, the screenshots, the CPS report, the Amazon fraud claim, the 2 handwritten notes, and the camera footage, and filed the paperwork at the Travis County Courthouse. They granted a temporary restraining order within 24 hours. I had to appear in court the next week for the full hearing. I honestly thought that would be the end of it. But then things got worse. Way worse. The day before the court hearing, I got a call from HR at my job. Someone had sent an anonymous tip to the company's ethics hotline. The tip claimed I was stealing company property, submitting fake invoices, and using my position in the accounting department to cover it up. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. HR said they were required to open an internal investigation. I told them everything. I even told them I believed it was my sister doing it out of spite. They said they'd look into it, but until then, I was placed on unpaid leave. 2 days. That's all it took for my entire life to feel like it was crashing down. I called Max again, panicking. He sighed on the other end of the phone. She's trying to destroy you professionally now. But if we prove it's her, that's criminal. This isn't just harassment anymore. This is stalking and defamation. I spent the next 3 nights with the lights on. I didn't sleep. And then something completely unexpected happened. Rachel's ex-husband, Jake, reached out. We'd never been close. I didn't like him much when they were married. But he messaged me on Facebook, saying he heard about what was happening and wanted to talk. We met at a coffee shop in Round Rock. Jake looked tired, like someone who'd been through his own war. She did the same to me, he said, stirring his coffee without drinking it. After the divorce, when she realized she wasn't getting the house or custody, she went full scorched earth. Called my job, filed fake police reports, told people I hit her. I sat in stunned silence. I didn't know she turned it on you too, he said. But I figured you should know, she keeps journals. She writes everything down. I only found out because she left one at my place. That's how I proved she lied in court. My heart pounded. She keeps them with her? I asked. Jake nodded. Always. I didn't know what to do with that information. I wasn't about to break into her place. I wasn't even sure where she lived now. But if those journals existed, and if they said half the things I suspected, then they could destroy her lies. A few days later, during the court hearing for the restraining order, Rachel showed up. Dressed nicely. Hair brushed. Makeup done. Like she was playing the part of the wrong sister. She brought her kids. She told the judge I had mental health issues, that I'd screamed at her children, that I was violent, that she had no idea why I was attacking her. I stood there feeling like I was in a dream. Or a nightmare. The judge looked at me. Do you have any evidence of harassment or threats? Oh, yes. Yes, I did. I handed over my folder. I watched Rachel's expression shift the moment the judge started flipping through it. Her mouth twitched. Her smile dropped. The judge didn't say much. But at the end of the hearing, the restraining order was granted for 1 year. When it was over, I walked out without saying a word to her. I thought that would be it. That maybe, finally, she'd give up. But I was wrong. The next day, my neighbor knocked on my door. Hey, he said, looking uncomfortable. I don't want to get in your business, but there was a woman parked across the street this morning. She was watching your house for almost an hour. I thought it was weird, so I snapped a photo. He held out his phone. It was her car. Rachel was still watching. Still planning. Still out there. And I was done playing defense. When I saw that picture from my neighbor, something inside me finally clicked. She was still out there, circling like a vulture. Watching. Waiting. She wouldn't stop until I broke, or she did. And I was done being scared. The next day, I went straight to Max. She's still watching my house, I told him. She's not done. He sat back in his chair and gave me a long look. You want to end this? He asked. I nodded. Yeah. I want her to feel what I felt. But legally. Max leaned forward. Then you'll need to hit her where it hurts. Her reputation, her custody, and whatever safety net she's got left. I didn't forget what Jake said about the journals. If she was writing down everything, including the lies, those could be gold. I called Jake. I need your help, I told him. If you know where she's staying, if there's any way to get those journals. I need them. Jake paused. Funny thing, he said. She left another one at my place. You can have it. I drove to his apartment that night. It was a small green leather notebook. Inside, page after page of her messy handwriting. Called CPS today. Bet that'll scare her. She deserves it. Going to mess with her job. Let's see how tough she is when she loses that too. The house should have been mine. I gave up everything for this family. She owes me. I scanned every single page. Photocopied the whole thing. Put it into my now massive folder. While Rachel didn't have a full-time job, she was picking up freelance gigs doing daycare and babysitting out of her new apartment. I found her ad on a neighborhood Facebook group using a fake profile. So, I made a few calls. I sent the journal pages and the restraining order to the admin of the Facebook group. I contacted 2 moms who had left reviews. I didn't even have to embellish. Just letting you know, this woman has an active restraining order, made false CPS reports, and has a record of harassing people, including family. It's all documented. If you're leaving your children with her, you should know. That group lit up. Within hours, her ad was deleted. The moms warned others. She got banned from the group. One even said she was reporting Rachel to the state child care licensing office. Step 3. Her custody. I knew this would be the final nail. I didn't want to take her kids from her. I really didn't. But those kids were being dragged into her chaos. If she kept using them as shields, someone had to step in. I emailed Jake. Here's what I have. It might help you get full custody. Jake met with his lawyer. They added my photos, screenshots, and the journal to his custody case. Rachel didn't even show up to the next hearing. She sent some last-minute excuse about being sick. The judge didn't care. Jake got full custody within a month. And that was the moment it all stopped. No more late night messages. No more watching my house. No CPS calls. No weird charges. Nothing. She disappeared from every social media account. Left town, from what I heard. Word spread through the family. A few called me cold. Some stayed neutral. But others? They reached out quietly. Thanked me. Said, we always knew something was off with her. We just didn't know how far she'd go. I got my job back after HR finished their investigation. They cleared my name completely. One of the managers actually apologized. I got back pay, plus a small bonus for the inconvenience. I didn't even ask. I still keep the folder in my closet. It's thick. Heavy. Full of stress and sleepless nights. But it's also full of proof that being family doesn't give someone the right to destroy your life. Rachel tried to ruin me. She thought I'd stay quiet. She thought I wouldn't fight back. She was wrong. I kept every receipt, every threat. Got a restraining order, exposed her lies, helped her ex get full custody of the kids, and destroyed her reputation. She vanished. I got my life back.